Imagine holding an hourglass in your hand, each grain of sand falling representing the passage of time. Gentle, silent, yet never to return. Have you ever asked yourself, what have those grains of sand been spent on? Have they slipped away on worries about others, mindless scrolling through social media, or tasks you didn't truly want to do? As a day passes, how much time have you devoted to truly meaningful things, and how much has been stolen by distractions? The sad truth is that we cannot stop the flow of time, but the miraculous thing is that you can choose how to use it. The secret to transforming your life isn't about racing to keep up with the outside world. It's about returning to your inner self, where true strength and the ability to master your life reside. If you've ever felt lost in the whirlwind of life, if you've ever wondered what you need to do to stop wasting this precious time, now is the moment. Let's explore the principles that will help you focus on yourself and unleash your true potential. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to us. Thank you for your support. Let's begin. Principle 1. Stop comparing. Free your energy and focus on yourself. Comparing yourself to others is a subtle trap that silently drains your time, energy, and confidence. It's an invisible cage you build for yourself every time you look at someone else's success, appearance, or glamorous life and feel inadequate. In today's age of social media, where everything is polished to perfection and only the shiniest highlights are on display, it's easy to forget that every person's life is a unique canvas, painted with their own strokes and colors. You see the results of others, but you don't see the failures, quiet efforts, and tears behind them. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be one." His words emphasize that instead of expending energy on comparisons or envy, you should focus on what you can control, yourself. You don't need to run a race on someone else's track, because your journey is already unique and worthy of your full investment. Think about Oprah Winfrey, one of the most inspiring icons in the world. When she entered the television industry, she wasn't taken seriously. She was compared to well-known peers, and many doubted she was suited for hosting. But instead of succumbing to criticism and the pressure of comparison, Oprah chose to focus on herself. She developed her own unique, heartfelt, and emotional hosting style, one that no one could replicate. Oprah understood that chasing someone else's model would make her a pale imitation. Thanks to her perseverance and belief in her path, she transformed The Oprah Winfrey Show into an iconic program, one that not only achieved commercial success, but also touched millions of lives, revolutionizing how the world perceives talk shows. The truth is, comparisons don't just exhaust you, they also slow your progress. It's like driving while constantly glancing at the car next to you. You lose direction, scatter your focus, and won't get very far on your own journey. The more you compare, the easier it is to forget how meaningful your own path is and how even small progress deserves to be celebrated. So, how can you escape the comparison trap? Start by changing your perspective. When you see someone else's success, don't ask, "Why can they do it, but I can't?" Instead, think, "What can I learn from them?" Life is an ongoing journey of learning, and the success of others can serve as inspiration to help you grow. Remember, you're comparing your entire picture to someone else's edited snapshot. Rather than focusing on what you lack, concentrate on what you can improve. Here's a small but powerful exercise you can try today. Write down 3 things you did better than yesterday. Maybe you completed a challenging task, spent an extra 30 minutes reading, or simply didn't give up despite a tough day. Recognizing these small wins will help shift your perspective, enabling you to focus on your own progress instead of watching someone else's path. Day by day, you'll realize that these small steps form the foundation for big changes. Imagine you're a craftsman meticulously sculpting a statue. You can't rush to carve perfect lines by copying someone else's finished work. Your statue requires time, patience, and a deep commitment to shaping every detail. Life is the same. You are the only artist who can decide what your life's masterpiece will look like. When you stop comparing, you unleash a tremendous amount of energy. Energy you can redirect toward becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, moving forward, even just one small step each day is a big victory. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to be like anyone else. Your journey is one of a kind and deserves to be cherished in its own way. So starting today, stop looking at others' paths and begin taking confident steps on your own. Use that energy to learn, grow, and boldly affirm that you are good enough, strong enough, and capable enough to write the story of your life. Principle 2. Prioritize progress over perfection, the journey of small steps. We often find ourselves stuck in the trap of perfection. This alluring illusion convinces us that things must be flawless to have value. But the truth is, the obsession with perfection is what slows you down. You hesitate to start because you fear failure. You blame yourself for every mistake, losing the motivation to move forward. Remember, perfection doesn't exist. What truly matters is continuous progress, even if it's just small steps. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once reminded us, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." This statement holds a crucial lesson. Challenges and obstacles are not barriers to progress. They are essential parts of the journey. By overcoming small difficulties, you build resilience and perseverance, two key elements for creating a successful and meaningful life. Take the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before becoming a globally renowned writer, Rowling endured dark times, a divorce, living in poverty, and raising a child as a single mother. On top of that, her manuscript was repeatedly rejected by publishers. Yet instead of giving up, Rowling chose to progress little by little. Each day she wrote a few pages, even when she felt they weren't good enough. That persistence enabled her to complete the series, which eventually became one of the best-selling works of all time. If Rowling had waited for the perfect moment to start, the world might never have known the magic of Harry Potter. Success doesn't come from a giant leap, but from small, consistent efforts over time. Imagine you're training for a marathon. You can't run 26 miles on the first day. Instead, you focus on running an extra mile each week, gradually improving your pace. These incremental steps not only strengthen your body, but also build mental endurance. Over time, you'll look back and realize you've come a long way, something you once thought impossible. It's essential to change how you perceive failure and mistakes. Many people fear making errors, seeing them as signs of weakness. In reality, mistakes are the greatest teachers. Thomas Edison, the brilliant inventor, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Every mistake offers a valuable lesson, bringing you closer to success. Remember, each time you stumble and get back up, you become a little stronger. So, how can you prioritize progress over perfection? Start with a simple yet powerful exercise. Write down your long-term goal, then break it into manageable, actionable steps. For example, if you want to learn a new skill, don't pressure yourself to master it immediately. Instead, commit to practicing for 20 minutes each day. Small steps, when done consistently, will lead to significant results over time. Focus on the process rather than fixating on the end result. Celebrate small victories daily, no matter how minor they seem. For instance, completing a challenging task, maintaining a reading habit, or simply making it through a tough day without giving up. These small achievements will boost your confidence and keep you motivated to keep going. Think of each small step as a drop of water falling onto a rock. It may seem insignificant at first, but over time, those drops will create profound changes. When you focus on progress, you'll discover that the journey itself is the most valuable part. Success isn't about reaching a perfect destination. It's about continuously pushing beyond your limits. Learn to love the process, no matter how slow or challenging it may seem, because those steady, persistent steps are what lead to the greatest transformations. Finally, ask yourself each day, what have I done today to improve from yesterday? Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it will never come. Start today with the smallest actions. When you focus on the process and embrace mistakes, you'll be amazed by the strength you didn't know you had. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Stay persistent and confident, for it's the small steps that lay the foundation for extraordinary achievements. Principle 3. Eliminate distractions. Respect your most precious asset. Time is the most valuable asset we possess, yet paradoxically, it's also what we waste the most. Every day, amidst the endless notifications from our phones, meaningless news feeds, and aimless conversations, time is quietly stolen away. Have you ever looked back and asked yourself, how many hours today were spent on truly important things? How many minutes passed without adding any value? I've asked myself this question too, on a late evening, staring at my phone screen, realizing I'd spent over an hour scrolling through social media without even noticing. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once said, "Every moment lost is a moment that cannot be reclaimed." This truth cuts deep. Every wasted moment is a lost opportunity to live fully or move closer to your goals. Yet in today's world, distractions are no longer just personal choices. They seem to have become an inescapable part of life. They're everywhere, from tiny notifications on your phone and urgent messages to endless, aimless conversations. The scariest part is that when distractions become a habit, they turn into a silent thief, robbing not only your time, but also your ability to focus and your mental energy. I've been through periods where distractions left me utterly drained. At work, every notification pulled my eyes from the screen. Every casual conversation with friends seemed like a way to avoid the difficult tasks waiting for me. One by one, important responsibilities were postponed, projects piled up, and by the end of the day, I felt empty and guilty for not using my time meaningfully. But then I realized, distractions don't come from outside, they come from within. They stem from a fear of failure, from exhaustion, and from a craving for temporary comfort. After all, it's so much easier to scroll through social media than to sit down and tackle a challenging plan. So, to eliminate distractions and regain focus, I tried a simple yet effective method, the Pomodoro technique. I broke my work into 25-minute intervals of deep focus, followed by 5-minute breaks, repeating this cycle. At first I was skeptical. How much could I really accomplish in just 25 minutes? But to my surprise, those focused sessions created a flow of productivity, allowing me to work more effectively without feeling burnt out. Completing even a small portion of a task gave me the motivation to keep going. I also asked myself, what is distracting me the most? The answers weren't surprising. My phone, social media, and emails. So I decided to turn off all notifications on my phone and only check emails during set times. Initially, the feeling of being disconnected made me anxious, but soon I realized the world didn't fall apart because I didn't reply to messages immediately. More importantly, I had regained control of my time and focus. Time isn't just numbers on a clock, it's a declaration of your values. When you choose to eliminate distractions, you're saying, I value my time and will only spend it on what truly matters. Remember, you are the only person who decides who and what deserves your precious time. The time you waste on meaningless things will never return, but the time you dedicate to your goals and core values will build the life you desire. I remind myself daily, time waits for no one. Either you control it or it controls you. Start by clearing out distractions in your life, both external and internal. Create a tidy workspace, turn off unnecessary notifications, and say no to meaningless commitments. And when you feel tempted to give in to temporary comfort, remember this: small distractions today will accumulate into major failures tomorrow. On the other hand, every moment of focus today is a brick in the foundation of your future. Value your time as you value yourself. Only when you eliminate distractions can you truly walk your path with focus, energy, and meaning. Principle 4. Protect your time by saying no. Prioritize your personal values. In the fast-paced world we live in, we are often swept into the whirlwind of unnecessary commitments and meaningless social invitations. The habit of saying yes to everything, whether it's trivial tasks, unimportant gatherings, or requests beyond our capacity, becomes a burden, pulling us away from our goals and core values. We fear disappointing others, being labeled as selfish or unenthusiastic. But the cost of not daring to say no is the sacrifice of our time, energy, and opportunities to invest in ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and emperor, once said, "The purpose of life is not to please others, but to live according to your own values." This is an important reminder. You cannot live a meaningful life if you constantly prioritize others' needs and expectations over your own. Learning to say no isn't selfish. It's a powerful declaration that you value yourself and prioritize what truly matters. I used to be someone who said yes to every request. Whether it was unnecessary meetings, projects outside my responsibilities, or social gatherings I wasn't interested in, I agreed simply to avoid disappointing others. At first, I told myself I was doing the right thing, being helpful and dependable. But then I realized that every time I said yes to something unnecessary, I was giving up valuable time and energy I could have used to work on my own important goals. Worse, I felt exhausted and empty, as though I was living someone else's life instead of my own. Jane's story illustrates the power of saying no. As an ambitious financial professional, Jane found herself drowning in social events and non-urgent tasks she couldn't decline. This pulled her further away from her most important goal, earning a professional certification to advance her career. Realizing her time was being scattered meaninglessly, Jane set clear boundaries and boldly said no to commitments that didn't align with her values. Instead of spending hours at unproductive gatherings, she used that time to study, improve herself, and rest. This decisive action allowed Jane to complete her certification, unlocking a major career milestone and giving her a sense of freedom and control over her life. The reality is, saying no isn't always easy. It requires courage and clarity about your values and goals. If you're struggling to protect your time, try this simple exercise. Write down 3 things you can decline this week. It might be a dinner invitation you're not interested in, a non-urgent task, or a favor outside your ability. Then ask yourself, if I say no to this, how could I use that time for something more meaningful? Maybe it's exercising for your health, learning a new skill, or simply spending quality time with family. Every time you say no to something unnecessary, you're opening a door to invest in what truly matters. Aligning your daily actions with your core values is another key to protecting your time. If health is a priority for you, don't hesitate to say no to late-night parties and instead use that time to exercise or get enough sleep. If family is your top value, firmly decline extended work hours to ensure you can have dinner with loved ones. These choices not only help you live in alignment with your values, but also bring deeper meaning to each moment of your life. Learning to say no is like building a fence around your time and energy. When you dare to reject what doesn't fit your priorities, you send a powerful message. My time is limited, and I will spend it only on what is truly worthwhile. This is an act of self-respect, a way to affirm your value and focus on real growth. At first, saying no might make you feel uncomfortable or guilty, but over time, it will bring you a sense of freedom and control over your life. Remember, your life cannot be defined by others' expectations. Every no you say to the unnecessary is a yes to yourself, to your dreams, goals, and core values. Time is finite, and you deserve to use it meaningfully. Don't fear disappointing others, because those who truly value you will understand and respect your choices. And as you learn to protect your time, you'll feel lighter, more confident, and more focused on your journey toward a meaningful life. So, have the courage to say no to the unnecessary and decisively say yes to yourself. In the end, when you protect your time, you're protecting your life. And now, with a strong foundation of focus and a clear awareness of your values, you're ready to embrace the final principle, resilience through focusing on yourself. Principle 5, let go of what you cannot control. The key to living freely and happily. Imagine standing on a beach, holding grains of sand tightly in your hand. The harder you try to hold on, the faster the sand slips through your fingers. This is how our time and energy drift away when we try to control things beyond our reach. Have you ever asked yourself, how much time and energy have I wasted on worries and meaningless expectations that I cannot change? Expectations from others, unexpected situations, or even the past that cannot be undone. These only leave you tired, drained, and far from happiness. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once said, "Happiness and freedom begin when you let go of what lies beyond your control." This statement holds a profound truth. Most of the things that make us uneasy are beyond our ability to influence. The only thing you can truly control is yourself. How you act, how you react, and how you view a situation. When you keep trying to change the impossible, you are only trapping yourself in a cycle of anxiety and disappointment. Think about moments in your life. How many times have you been caught up in things you cannot control? For instance, a trip cancelled because of a storm, unfair judgment from others, or a colleague who failed to complete their tasks on time. You felt anxious, frustrated, and even asked yourself, what can I do to change this? But the truth is, worrying does not solve the problem. It only drains your precious energy you could use to focus on more important things. I once learned a valuable lesson about this at work. At the time, I was part of a major project where the results depended on team collaboration. One colleague consistently delayed their tasks, jeopardizing the project's progress. I worried, I felt frustrated, and I believed that if nothing changed, the project would fail. But then I realized that my anxiety wasn't making my colleague work any faster or changing the situation. Instead, I decided to focus on my own responsibilities, support the team as much as I could, and maintain a positive attitude. The result was surprising. The project was completed successfully. More importantly, I learned that letting go of what I could not control freed my mind and gave me the clarity to focus on what I could control. There was another time when I faced a major challenge during a public presentation. In the middle of my slideshow, the power suddenly went out. At first, I panicked, worried that all my hard preparation had gone to waste. But I quickly realized I couldn't change the situation. The only thing I could control was my reaction. Instead of panicking, I continued presenting verbally, relying on my knowledge and confidence to convey the message. The result? The presentation turned out to be more successful than I had expected. That experience taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes unexpected situations are opportunities for us to discover our hidden strengths. So, how can we let go and focus on what truly matters? The first step is to clearly distinguish between what you can and cannot control. Write down the things that are worrying you, then ask yourself, can I change this? If the answer is no, learn to let it go. For example, you can't change the weather, but you can adjust your plans to suit the conditions. You can't change how others think about you, but you can change how you respond to their opinions. The next step is to shift your focus to your actions and attitude. Instead of fixating on results, concentrate on what you can do in the present moment. If you finished an exam, worrying about the score won't help. Instead, focus on preparing for the next one. Clear, tangible actions will give you a sense of control and confidence. Acceptance is also key. When faced with something unchangeable, remind yourself, I cannot control this, but I can control how I respond. Acceptance does not mean weakness. It is a way to free your mind from unnecessary worries and make room for positive, productive energy. Finally, see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Instead of complaining, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I do better next time? Challenges are not enemies. They are teachers that guide you toward a stronger, better version of yourself. Take Thomas Edison as an example. When his laboratory burned down, he didn't fall into despair. Instead, he calmly said, all our mistakes have been burned away. Now we can start fresh. This mindset allowed him to continue innovating and achieving great things. Letting go does not mean giving up. Letting go allows you to focus on what truly matters and what lies within your control. Write down the things you are worrying about right now and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If not, let it go, like grains of sand slipping through your fingers. Remember, you can't change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to move forward. Only when you let go will you truly take control of your life. Focusing on yourself is not selfish or isolating from the world. It's a profound journey that helps you optimize your time, discover your personal values, and live a more meaningful life. You hold the key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of. So take action now to become the best version of yourself. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this content helpful, please hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed topics like this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss future videos. We'll continue to share lessons, philosophies, and practical tools to help you grow and thrive. Once again, thank you for joining us. See you in the next video.